So our final set of change models is the work around organic models and the organic metaphor. And we talked particularly about the permaculture cycle. Now remember that permaculture is a design system. It comes from the 1970s and the agriculture and horticultural response to the oil crisis. But it is not only a growing system. It's a way of designing the system or process of anything to get an optimal level of outcome for an optimal level of energy input. It says just you don't have to spend all your time throwing resources to try to get the very last bit of output. Sometimes it's better to be more in the business of optimizing or satisficing rather than maximizing. And there are 12 steps in the design cycle, and I'm not going to go through them here. We've provided a really good link to the model and an explanation of how it works. But basically, it's a naturally sustainable, naturally organic way of thinking about design. And I told the story in the workshop about Martin Crawford and his agroforestry garden, about how he worked with raspberry beds where the raspberries naturally migrated south over a number of years. And he let them go. He simply moved the raspberry bed to accommodate the fruit as it migrated. And he said, look, I could have kept them in one place. I could have kept cutting them off, putting them back where they were. He said, but after a few years, they die and you have to replace your raspberries. He said, that didn't happen. When I let them migrate, they restored themselves. I simply went with the energy and it resulted in better crops. How often in organisations do we try to get the raspberries to go where we want them? Why not look where the energy is flowing in the organisation and try to use it well? A lot of the time, if people are working with the right purpose, the energy will be flowing in a way that's useful to the organisation. Maybe let the raspberries go south. The final thing I want to say about this model relates to the picture I drew about the roots of a tree and the role of mycorrhizal fungi, mycelium. A lot of work's been done in recent times, and you may have seen some of this, talking about the web of fungal networks underneath the forest floor, how it moves messages around saying this nutrient is needed here, that tree is under attack, and releasing chemicals to protect the tree. Organisations can learn a lot from this because this is how organisations actually work. Not everything works through big formal systems. 90% of the organisation is underground, in informal contacts, in conversations, round the water cooler, by the coffee machine. This is very much the fungal web of the organisation. If you're working with change, you really have to pay lots of attention to this informal system, this fungal web underground. Powerful stuff. Have a look at the links we've provided, and we wish you all the best in exploring your own version of these change models as you apply them to your big issues.